Welcome to Suncoast View. I'm Stephanie Roberts. Is it possible to have too many tourists on the Suncoast? We'll talk about ad strategies and how they're changing for the upcoming season.
And I'm Don Brennan, a renowned Marvel comic artist, joins us now today to show us his craft and his characters, and you will recognize them.
I'm Beth. Grab your girlfriends and get ready to go shopping. We'll learn about the latest openings on St. Armand's Circle and special deals for Ladies' Night.
And I'm Linda Carson. Plus, we're going to have Suncoast for sale, and I'll share my wit and wisdom. Boy, that's a joke in Linda's life lessons. All that and more right now on Suncoast View.
Welcome to the show, and welcome back to Don Brennan.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. Glad to be back.
Good to have a man up here with the ladies.
Yeah.
Nice
So
shirt.
you guys
Look at
notice
this.
the color scheme?
Except for
Linda?
me.
Which one of these things doesn't belong? But see, I'm the man, so I don't really belong.
That's
either.
right. We'll call you out on that.
Yeah.
Well, you could just be glad that you're here today and that you were not here yesterday, or you would have to didgeridoo.
What?
Exactly. If you don't know what that is, Linda's going to teach you, sort of. Check this out.
Very relaxed. And really.
Okay, she's going to
I can't bungee jump like you, but I thought maybe I could do it.
That made me so happy that Beth did it.
I
But
had to
Linda,
It didn't make me happy. She can do everything.
I had to
It's
do-
not a bull. I can't do any of those
I
things.
didn't think I was going to be able to do it because he said make a, what is it called, a fuzzy with
Raspberry.
your
No,
lips?
you go.
Whatever. And
Yeah.
I can't do that.
I can't either. But
See, you have a
sounded
lot of hot
really
air.
good.
She has a lot of hot
she
air.
does
That's
have a
what it
lot
is.
of hair.
That's it.
No, hot air.
And
She
hair,
has a lot of
sorry.
hair, too.
I'm just glad you survived.
But I
because
waxed.
Linda was blowing so hard.
I was giving it
I
everything
was afraid you were going to pass
I
out.
had. Joey said there's a saying, I can't sing, but nobody, people may say I can't sing, but they won't say I didn't sing. So people may say I can't didgeridoo, but they can't say I didn't try.
Didgeridoo.
Didgeridoo. Didgeridoo? What
I
didgeridoo?
don't think I need to remember that word. I'm
So
never
it's
going
like
to be
Didgeridoo. And you didgeridoo.
I did.
I
You
did that at the
didgeridoo.
doctor's office the other day. I had to blow into that thing and make the ball bounce and go higher and higher. I felt like I
was
was
a tree limb?
didgeridooing something.
Did you do good?
Didgeridooing
I
something.
don't remember.
Did you didgeridoo?
They asked me to leave, so hopefully.
I thought you were talking about a sobriety test because that's what you
No,
had.
no, no,
Oh,
no.
my gosh. All right, before
I
we
wouldn't
get
know
in
that.
trouble.
We're going to ruin your
How do
reputation.
you know that?
Yeah.
Just saying. She's a news
stories.
reporter.
I've done this
We're going
for
to the kitchen.
stories.
It's going downhill quickly. Judy, have you ever didgeridooed?
I'm not going to say that on television. I'm holding that
Just
to
checking.
myself.
Today.
But what I have done is eaten a lot of hoagies in my day. And you can call them different names, but Don knows if you come from New York, you say hoagies. So we have taken some of the best hoagies on the Suncoast from Venice and Main Street, all over, and we have some really good ones for you to share today. So it's going to be a calorie day, but we're going for it. We're getting in our hoagies, and then we can didgeridoo after.
Hey, no, we did that yesterday. Today we're going to hoagie, and appropriately so because today is Hoagie Day on our favorite things to celebrate calendar.
We
it
don't
is?
miss any holiday.
We do not miss a
National
holiday.
Hoagie Day.
It is Hoagie Day. And honestly, growing up in the Midwest, I had never heard of a hoagie until I went east to Penn State because we called them subs.
But, right, see, that's the weird thing. In Connecticut, Judy and I were talking about it. In Connecticut, we knew all the names: wedge, sub, hoagie, grinder. We know all the names, but if you go to different factions throughout the rest of the country, they only know their name.
Right. Linda, what do they call them in the South?
Well, I didn't know what a hoagie was, but I didn't want to admit it when I went to Pittsburgh.
Right.
So I went
Paninis.
and ordered one. So it's secretly when nobody was
Well,
watching.
what would you have called that if you'd have ordered it in
Sandwich.
Georgia?
A sandwich.
A sandwich? Doesn't matter the shape or the length or
No,
anything
it's
like
just
that?
a sandwich. There's bread, there's meat inside.
It's a sandwich. All right. Well, it's a hoagie today, and we're going to celebrate. All right. So, John, I need to pick on you for a minute. You're a very eligible bachelor, and a lot of the ladies in town ask us what you do on weekends. So I was wondering if you could give us an example or maybe show us some photos if they're daytime
Pretty
friendly.
much now the boys are at sports age, and that's what I do. As any parent knows, when your kids start playing sports, that's pretty much your life. There's Logan, he pitches, he's playing travel baseball, he's got travel basketball tryouts this weekend. Trey plays basketball for school. He's playing flag football. He's also going to be playing soccer. So you basically have to, it's a full-time job. Luckily, they got a little hardware, thankfully, that it's all paid off. I feel better now that I paid for those trophies.
How old is soccer dad?
Logan is 10 and Trey is 12. And actually, Logan will turn 10 on Stephanie's birthday because they have the same birthday, October 17th. So that's what you do. I mean, that's your life. And it really,
That's why you're
you
single.
don't have a life. That's
That's
why I'm
right.
single.
So,
That's
ladies
right.
who ask, now you know
Yes.
he is a devoted dad on weekends, and that's why he's
Yes.
not out and
Those
about
So I
there.
go to
Things are
bed
gonna
at
be
7
full of
o'clock.
women,
Yeah.
Don.
That's right. There's lots of soccer moms, Don.
Yeah.
I'm just
well,
saying.
I go to bed at 7 o'clock during the week, and on the weekends I'm with my kids, so I got no shot.
That's all right. That's why
They
there's
can
social
meet you
media.
on the field.
There you go.
Exactly. I found one on the field. All right, it is time for our first hot topic, and our complaints are being heard. There is too much traffic here on the Suncoast in season, so now tourism officials are changing their marketing strategy. Bradenton Area Visitors Bureau says they will withdraw promotional spending from the travel-heavy spring months and shift it to summer and fall when tourism traditionally dips. Translation? There's enough people here in peak season. Sarasota is taking congestion complaints seriously and looking into alternative transportation for tourists, such as scooters and pedicabs on Siesta Key and water taxis from downtown to the Keys. Hopefully that'll keep cars off the roads. So do we like that our counties recognize we could be getting too popular in peak season?
So I'm just negative. I'm just thinking now you're going to make it a season all the time instead of just in season. So now in summer months when we get a break, we're not going to get a break anymore.
Right.
Well,
Maybe,
I
you
think
know-
for tourists, I mean, we don't like to stand in line 3 hours for a restaurant. They don't either. So they won't come here next time if there's a lot of traffic or if there are long lines for everything.
They
so I
keep
think for
coming,
our
Linda. I don't
well,
know.
if they can come in July and August and September, they won't have to stand in lines.
Linda sounds like Yogi Berra, who once said that it's too crowded. Nobody goes there anymore.
Seriously, though. But here's my thing. One of the things we've marketed ourselves on, especially Manatee County and the islands, is low rise, low key, low stress. Yeah, hello. Have you driven out there in March? That doesn't apply anymore.
That's your first problem. You're not
that's-
supposed to drive on the island. You're supposed to walk or bike. That's
true.
the issue.
But now the time when we have no one here and we get to actually make it on the highway without traffic or go somewhere without a line, now there's going to be a line. No one else is worried about that?
Yeah, no, I am.
yeah.
But that's how the sports industry is. I worked in the sports industry, worked for sports teams. You don't give away. When the Yankees are playing the Red Sox, they don't do a T-shirt giveaway. They do it when they're playing the Rays, when nobody's going to show up otherwise. So then they give the T-shirts to draw people to those games. But like you said, then it makes it year-round.
I like the fact that we might have water taxis. That sounds good, but having people ride on scooters all up and down Siesta Key, that sounds kind of dangerous to
Yeah,
me.
well, let's hopefully someone else safe will be driving and they'll just be hauling us behind.
I've
so.
done that in Key West, and of course I'm a great driver. But think of all those people on scooters. That's a little
I
frightening.
still maintain this is
I
a
have a
good
better idea
problem
for
to
that.
have. What's your idea?
You put a toll on the bridge. People stop going there.
No, we don't want them to totally stop. So, well, no matter what the season, we are certainly glad to see Westfield Southgate's mall's resurgence. Mall management sent us these renderings from this ongoing project so we can get a sneak peek of the new look. Look at all that outdoor space. It's got a redesigned entrance with the seating and a brick entryway and palm trees. Connor's Steak Restaurant has committed, and Bravo Italiana Restaurant currently being built at the northwest corner of the complex. The mall is also in talks with several other restaurant groups. So the big question becomes, can Sarasota support all three malls and the associated restaurants?
Well, we just talked about all the people who are here and coming
Yeah,
here and keep
right.
coming here. So yes, because it's going to get really crowded at the new mall. So you come down to Southgate, which was where everybody was going to begin with.
Right.
Right.
And you still have the people south and the people on the Keys who don't want to drive all the way out to 75. Because if you grow up in a small town, like a 15-minute drives, I don't want to drive 15 minutes. That's way out there.
Well, and from the islands or the Keys out to
That's
the
a
new
month.
mall,
Yeah,
that's
that's
a
a-
45-minute
what I
drive
mean,
in traffic.
especially
I mean, that's a
in
nightmare.
traffic.
Yeah, I would love to have Southgate have stores too. I want to shop. I want to buy something.
Yeah, there's been a lot of closures, so hopefully there'll be a resurgence with that as well. But the drawings look great. I think we're on the right start.
Oh, I do too. And they look beautiful, very
They do.
upscale.
Well, we're a big fan of many
We like
malls.
eating.
Yes, we like
More
eating and
restaurants.
shopping. Bring it on. Well, as football comes under fire for concussions, soccer may need to be closer scrutinized as well. Look at this shot to the face in a European soccer game. That was at close range. This player is knocked out cold. We call that a facial in my house. Medical staff tended to him and then ruled it was okay for him to stay in the game after lying unconscious on the field. So a new study in Soccer America reports that injuries have doubled, resulting in ER visits from soccer. Now, Don, you and I are both soccer parents. I think people need to remember soccer is a contact sport, and there are no pads. It does not surprise me we're seeing injuries on this field.
And people, it's understated because soccer actually, I believe, throughout the country, youth soccer and youth sports has more concussions than football. Part of it, and a lot of leagues, youth leagues, won't allow heading anymore because the compact to the head and the kids are so susceptible to concussions at an early age. So they don't, and it's you never know. But with that, they probably weren't sure if the guy was faking because everybody fakes in soccer. So he probably was down for 2 hours.
wow.
No, I'm serious. They do. I mean, so
We call it
Hey, you
flop and
gotta
drop.
get a
Right,
rest
flopping.
somehow. They won't just get a timeout.
That's
just lay
actually
there
a
on
good
the
point.
ground.
Well,
That's
couldn't they have better equipment, like more football-type equipment?
I mean, the thing is even if you have a great football helmet, no matter how padded it is, it's the brain inside your head going back and forth. So if you stop, even if you don't hit somebody, if you're going 60 miles an hour and stop, your brain is still crushing
still
to the
moving
forward part
through.
of your skull and back and forth and sloshing around there. I know. It
My
sounds
brain's
great.
never had that problem, going 60 miles an hour.
And that's why you're so lucid at 78, because you've never been hit in the head.
Exactly.
So we're all good.
This is true.
All right, well, a surprise run during Monday Night Football, and not by a player, but a streaker. Listen to this radio announcer call the action. A guy runs onto the field and rips off his shirt. Might have been the best part of the game. Check it out.
3rd and 4, looks into the nickel of San Francisco in the secondary. Hey, somebody has run out on the field. Some goofball in a hat and a red shirt. Now he takes off the shirt. He's running down the middle by the 50. He's at the 30. He's bare-chested and banging his chest. Now he runs the opposite way. He runs at the 50. He runs at the 40. The guy is drunk, but there he goes. The 20. They're chasing him. They're not going to get him. Waving his arms, bare-chested. Somebody stop
Look
that
out,
man.
here comes the blue coat,
Oh,
Kevin.
they got him.
Here
They're
comes the
coming
blue
from the
coats.
left. Oh, and they tackle him at the 40-yard line.
But Beth goes, why didn't they show it? Because they weren't sure he wasn't going to rip off his pants next.
But they,
Hello?
right, but they never show streakers, and TV never does that because they don't want copycats, for one. But the funny thing for me was Jeff Fisher, the head coach of the Rams, was totally engrossed in that.
Right.
He was following the guy. You could see his eyes moving.
He's like,
usually,
yeah, look at him.
Usually they're so busy, as you know, coaches never stop thinking. He's probably drawing another play, but he was watching the streaker.
I love that the radio guy called it like a running back.
Yeah.
You
really
know,
did.
who would have known what that was a
There's going
streaker
to
or
be
a running
so
back?
many this weekend. Every
Yeah.
nut out there is going to try
They're
to do
already
that.
doing it.
Newsom
USF
High
had one a
for a
couple
while.
weeks ago.
And Newsom High had one, didn't it?
Yeah, our high school had one. USF had one buck naked. You should have
Oh,
seen how
really?
Twitter responded to that.
They used to have them a lot
at
at Florida State, but then they started putting the officers right around the
yes.
base.
They figured it out in college. It's a little more common.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, it may have been the highlight of an otherwise boring game, but here's something that is not boring. We have a dating dilemma to discuss. So a guy buys a girl a drink. They exchange numbers, but 2 weeks later, he asks for his money back.
What?
The girl gets a text from the guy that simply said, I bought you a drink. Can I have my money back? I'll give you a code and an account number. She found it so bizarre, she actually did it. Sent the guy his $6.50, saying maybe he really needed the money. Or maybe he didn't get what he wanted since she never contacted him after their exchange in the bar. This is the very cute girl involved.
Yes.
Would you have ever sent a guy his drink money back
No.
if he asked?
No. First of all, you volunteered to give me that, and I'm a believer of that whole Indian giver thing. I'm not giving back to you. You shouldn't have gave it to me in the first place.
Would you ever ask, John?
Oh, I was
You
going to say,
would
I would
not.
never send a guy back his money if he bought me a drink. But no,
was
I would never ask
$6.
because a lot of things, you're not, it's not a contract.
He thought it was an investment.
He did think it was an investment. It didn't pan out.
Right.
$6? What was he going to get for $6?
But
Because
I can't answer that.
Because I have prerequisites, and none of them start with 6.
Right, but in a contract, you have to have consideration. Like you have to pay for something and get a service, but you have to let them know that this is a contract and not a gift. So she had to know up front. That wasn't fair of her.
She said she wasn't interested, so she didn't text the thank you because she didn't want to encourage him, and I totally agree with that because occasionally I have sent a hey, thanks for the drink, and that just means ooh, baby, she's interested. No, I'm not interested.
Well, maybe
just
he
polite.
was just trying to spark up conversation, and he didn't know what else to say.
Yeah, right.
I didn't think of that. Maybe he was trying to get her to,
Yeah,
to talk
like
to him.
bait the conversation, and then she would have responded, "No, I'm not."
Well,
giving
he
you
got his money back, and obviously he never got
But
to go
that's
out.
probably because she wanted no ties.
Exactly.
That's why
Right.
she
She wanted the weirdo to go away.
rude.
I know, isn't that bizarre?
We're
$6.
guys. We have to lay ourselves out there. We have
All
to
of
do
that
the
for
asking.
$6.
But he shouldn't have done that. That's
Gee, Johnny,
embarrassing.
I don't have a dime.
Time out. And I think any male who's listening, that's an embarrassment to the male population. That is embarrassing.
6. Now, if it was 60, I may have understood.
60.
Three
Go
single
back.
people here, let them hash it out. All right, it's time for our happy hour forecast. And when we come back, we are going to meet a renowned comic artist. You'll recognize his work.
Good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Still monitoring Tropical Storm Julie. It's not moving much at all, bringing some heavy rainfall to the coastal locations of Georgia and South Carolina right now. It is drifting to the north, but it's got a trail of moisture all the way down through central Florida and just off into the Gulf of Mexico. Latest on it, 40-mile-an-hour winds. It's moving to the northeast at 6. It's expected to really stop that motion. You can see the next 5 days. It's going to be within that circle somewhere. It may dissipate and actually get beat up by some winds. We'll see how it goes, but it's not expected to move much at all. Could produce some very heavy rainfall there. For us, we've had some onshore flow, a few showers now and again moving across parts of the Suncoast, but right now things are fairly quiet except for eastern portions of DeSoto County and northeast Manatee County. A few showers offshore as well. We'll keep an eye on those. We'll keep a slight chance for a few passing showers in our area through this evening. And we'll much more on the rest of the week's forecast and take a look at the weekend as well as the rest of the tropics at 5.
Welcome back, everybody. When you think about Marvel superhero characters like Iron Man or Ant-Man, the image of your head was probably put there by our next guest. Yes, indeed, renowned comic artist Bob Layton is joining us now. He's recreated popular comic characters as well as being an artist and writer for other things as well. He's so multifaceted, it's unbelievable. The Sarasota County Film Commission has brought him down here. Now, Bob came here from Hollywood, and that's my first question. He came to Florida from Hollywood. Why in the world would you do that, Bob? You're in Tinseltown.
Here's what you guys don't understand. I went to Hollywood from Florida.
Oh.
Okay?
well,
I was
there
living
you
in
go.
Brandon at the time.
really? Hey,
Yes.
Right
Well,
up there.
I would have left Brandon too.
So when they started work on the Iron Man movies, and I got the call to go out there, I was living in Brandon, Florida. So I came back to Florida.
How'd you get
You know?
discovered?
Discovered.
Yeah, like I was already.
Everybody already knew you?
Well, no, they're making a movie based on my comic books. So they wanted me out there. You know, if you own the DVD, you can see I'm on the special features because Uncle Bob tells you all about how the Iron Man came about and all that sort of thing. How Stan Lee created it originally.
Look at you.
Yes,
Some
yeah,
good
that's me.
friends
That's
there.
me. Yeah, my two buddies.
Tell us
Robert,
who you're with.
That's Robert Downey Jr. and Jon Favreau, the director, and who also played Happy Hogan. We're on the set of Iron Man 2 there, which I am sad to say actually was the race car scene there. The Monaco scene was actually shot in Long Beach.
Oh.
You know, yeah, we didn't get to go to Monaco. That was all special effects and second unit stuff. So it would have been nice.
You were excited about going. and
Well,
then
they're making movies based on the comic books that I created years ago, and both Favreau and Downey are huge Iron Man fans. They're not doing this movie because it's just a paycheck. They're doing it because they love that character.
What's it
And-
like to see it on the silver screen
Oh,
after
it's
you put it
crazy.
on paper?
There was one shot in the first Iron Man movie where he's coming down to land and you see the Malibu house, and I've drawn that 100 times,
Right.
that shot. And then when you see it alive on the screen, all the little hair on the back of your neck
That's so
stands
cool.
up, you know, it's just the most amazing thing. Or to see Downey, you know, with the armor on. Although what you don't understand is he actually only wears the top part of the armor. Yeah, 'cause-
I know.
So
Yeah.
when you did this, because you did this years ago, did you ever anticipate or dream like this could actually become a movie?
Oh no! Listen, Ant-Man especially. Ant-Man was only like a 2-issue tryout 40 years ago that me and my writing partner David Michelini did. It was just a little like 2-shot book, but Edgar Wright was a kid who bought that book, and when he grew up and became a huge film director and writer, that was his passion project, and I never expected that would ever wind up on
Wow.
the silver screen. You know, now it's an international phenomenon. I go.
And you're a college professor? Well, you're Wheeling College of Art and Design,
Well, no, I'm
teaching
not
the
a
kids. You've got to be a
professor.
professor.
No, I'm not a professor.
But you play one on TV.
What I am is a spectacle.
Which is popular at colleges.
Yes, they love a spectacle. So No, I'm there tomorrow night.
What do you tell the Ringling kids about, pursuing these type of careers?
Oh, I give them Bob 101. I just tell them what life is really like in Hollywood and in the comic business.
Yeah.
What college doesn't really prepare you in a sense for dealing with the adversity, because you've seen Tropic Thunder, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't even begin to describe how crazy Hollywood is, okay? And so you have to be prepared for that. So a lot of what I talk about with Jeannie, who's the Sarasota film commissioner here, she's hosting this event. We're going to talk about the realities of Hollywood as opposed to the perception of Hollywood.
Which is great.
And even the comic business. I've owned 2 comic book companies in my career, and it's like the reality of the comic book industry and what they perceive it to be are 2 different things entirely. So it's a wake-up call,
Well, I'm sorry, but go ahead, Linda.
Well, yeah, I learned to read from comic books.
Me too.
Because it was fascinating and I couldn't wait to get to the next page. I think a lot of kids learn to read from comic books.
I graduated high school at 17 because I had read comics and made my sister teach me what they were saying in the little balloons. And so by 4 years old, I was reading proficiently.
wow,
Yeah.
good.
So it was graduating from high school at 17 sucks, though, because you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're not old enough to really do anything. You can't leave home yet, It's like, that part, is a little rough. But
Okay, you're telling these college students about Hollywood, but what do you tell them about their creativity? Like, you started before you were in college, and you just came up with stuff you didn't plan on writing for Hollywood. So what do you tell them about their creativity?
Well, no, because storytelling is storytelling. I mean, that's the whole point. Whether it's comics or it's film or television or whatever, I've worked in all those mediums. It's telling stories. It's like you have to have something to say. If you have something to say, it's that's what's most important. That's what I want to get across to them.
And you can hear exactly what Bob has to say. Meet him at the County Film and Entertainment Mixer. That's Sarasota County this Thursday, 5:30 to 7:30. Of course, at the Ringling College of Art and Design. Hear real-world advice. To register, go to filmsarasota.com. And coming up next, Bob's going to stick around and see how well we draw his characters. Brother.
I can't wait!
In a game of Pictionary. This is not going to be pretty, Bob.
Well, I'm not going to be kind either.
Oh, fabulous.
On your TV, on your computer, on your camera, on your smartphone, on your Apple Watch. And now you can get ABC7, your Suncoast News on Roku. Just go to mysuncoast.com and click on the mobile tab for a list of fast and free downloads that deliver ABC7, your Suncoast News on the go.
When you have credit card debt, the debt suckers, high rate and high pay, never leave you alone.
Debt is really sucking the life out of them. He's picking up the phone.
Oh, no, not Consolidated Credit.
With one call, they can lower their credit card rates.
And consolidate their bills into one low payment.
They'll pay off their debt in no time.
Call Consolidated Credit now.
Because debt sucks.
Call 800-201-0230. That's 800-201-0230. Call now.
The official salon of ABC7. Cutting Loose Salon.
They took that stress and that tension when I was particularly feeling very bad after that nasty car accident, and it was such a relief to know that I didn't have to bear that burden alone, that I had help.
Our goal is to not just get a satisfactory settlement on their case. We want them up on their feet, happy again. They've gotten their life back.
You only have one life. Are you gambling with it? 1 in 3 adults have high blood pressure. Not knowing your numbers could cause you to lose, big time. Luckily, you can turn the odds in your favor by getting your blood pressure checked today. Don't leave your health to chance. Learn more at heart.org/HPB.
They say imitation is the greatest form of flattery, and we're about to find out. Comic artist Bob Layden stuck around to assess our drawing skills, and I'm afraid we're not going to impress him. We're going to play a game of superhero Pictionary, and we're going to all take turns drawing his iconic superhero characters, and hopefully he'll be able to guess what we are trying to draw. All right, Don, you're first up, so I'll move out of your way. And Bob, you ready?
I'm gonna get
We said
comfortable for this,
imitation
all right?
is flattering. This is going to be very flattering.
All right.
All right, so let's see.
Okay.
Wait, one of them has 3 eyes? That thing has 3 eyes.
Look.
Really? Did I?
Did you create this?
No, I don't remember doing the Super Mario Brothers, did I?
It's a star in the center. That's the only thing.
Oh,
Which one has a star in the center? Captain America.
yes.
Well, thank you. I'm supposed to guess.
I know, I was going to say. Well,
Have you not played this game before?
No, I'm sorry.
no,
Oh
no,
my
but
God.
see, that's so
Yeah,
good
but
that
you knew that.
See, I know, that's good.
It's
If a
because
lay person got that, not
You
even
don't.
a
Yes, you know why? Because your drawing was so succinct.
All
right,
right, the most important, Bob. Why did you get that?
The shield
The
and the
shield.
star.
Yeah.
That's why all superheroes have some sort of memorable
Linda,
symbolism on them.
turn.
You know?
So,
what
Linda,
you're
he
doing
just
with
gave you a major hint if you were listening.
What did he
Yes.
say?
Think about what the icon that represents the character.
the icon. What if mine doesn't
I
have
mean,
an
if you were going to do, say, Superman, that's pretty easy, right? You
Yeah.
think about the Captain America, obviously you think about the
She's doing a
shield.
good job. Look at that. Is Linda your partner?
Maybe I coached her a little bit.
my
you
God.
know?
Wow, Linda.
We've never seen Linda
You
draw
guys
well
have
before.
to see Linda's face. Oh my gosh. I really
All right. Okay.
Stay Puft
Now I
Man.
know
That's
who it
a
is
Stay Puft.
already.
Who?
Wait, it's the Hulk. As soon as you got the gritty teeth and the scraggly hair. Yes, right?
Linda, that gets an A.
All right, my darling. Well
You
done.
like that?
Well done.
We need to take a picture of them next to it. We
You
need
may
to
not
rip that
digitally
off.
do, but you can
You
draw.
definitely could do
I don't
that.
think you're-
Don't
I don't
rip it
think you're
off.
ready
I'm going to
for
put it.
prime
I'm going
time,
to
but it
flip
was
it.
good. It was
You're
good.
They need to get a
Frame it.
picture together.
All right, so I'm going
See?
to
I care.
draw a.
Linda,
Let me
come
get
on
out of
back
your way.
over.
Yes. I don't want to get in line again.
Okay.
Linda was the most scared. She did the best.
Oh, I can't see. No, don't move for me. Don't be silly. That's like,
The Easter Bunny. No, I guess not.
It's not an Easter.
we'll see if you were listening.
It's a Zika baby.
Shut up.
Oh, I know it. That was the face that gave it away.
Are you really trying?
I am.
Okay.
I am
I
trying.
just want to make sure. I just want to make sure you weren't phoning it in.
She's the best.
I know. Of course
That's
it is.
phenomenal, actually.
Is it? Just let her keep going.
It looks just like Iron Man. Look at that.
All right.
You know, his muscles look a little bit.
Well, no, don't overdo it now, because I know it's my boy.
Who is it?
Shellhead. It's Iron Man. You
I was
know,
gonna say, he
it's
was
like I do
hanging
that.
you out.
Ah!
Again, because the unibeam on his chest.
All right, I was
Come on,
hoping we were out of
Right there
time.
from that.
Oh,
right,
you were
Stephanie.
hoping you're
I
out of
was
time.
hoping we were out of
And
time.
I think we should go to another segment.
All right.
Yeah.
Yay. All right, come on, Steph. You can do it.
All right.
I want to embarrass that.
All right, go on, Steph.